Here's a quick review of Hebrew vowels. We learned that Hebrew vowels have different lengths. Some are very long, some are short, and some are very short or half vowels. Specifically with these very short half vowels, we learned that it's a combination technically of two types of Hebrew vowels. The first one is called a Sheva, these two dots that are vertical, combined with some form of vowel. If it's an A class, a patach. If it's an E class or I class, segol. And finally, if it's a U class, it has a segol with a kamatz. But you know that kamatz is actually pronounced as an O in this case. What I want to introduce in this lesson is the first part, that is Sheva, that two vertical dots. Sheva literally means nothingness, and although it kind of acts like a vowel, it's technically not a vowel. This is because sometimes Sheva is purely silent. It has no property of a vowel. In this case, when Sheva is silent, it serves to actually close a syllable. So let's look at this example. The word is midbar. Midbar means wilderness or something, but what I want you to notice is the syllable here. We have a first syllable that's closed, mid, and a second syllable that's also closed, bar. You notice that under the dalet is the Sheva. That Sheva is never pronounced. It's there because it's showing that the first syllable is closed before moving on to the second syllable. That being said, sometimes Sheva serves as kind of a quasi-vowel. Here, when you have to pronounce a Sheva, it's pronounced like an E-class vowel as the. Usually, if Sheva comes at the very beginning of a word, they are pronounced. For example, here, you can look at the word devarim. Here, the Sheva under the first dalet is pronounced as a like an E. It's not silent, because if it's silent, there's no way you can pronounce this. Derim? No. Here, it's functioning as a vowel, devarim. So I know you might be wondering, how can I distinguish between if it's a silent or if it's vocal? Well, here are a few rules that would govern it. A Sheva is vocal if it is under a first letter of a word, just like devarim. Here we have beracha, which means blessing. You can see that the Sheva is under the first letter beit, therefore you pronounce it. A Sheva is also vocal if it is the second in a sequence of two Shevas. So here we have the word mishpete. You're going to notice that the first Sheva was silent, mish. But the second Sheva under the pe is pronounced as a mishpete. Finally, a Sheva is vocal if it is under a letter with a dagesh forte. So here you can see that we have the word ha-melachim, the kings. Notice that the second letter mem has a dagesh forte in it, and there's a Sheva under it. You know that if a Sheva is under a dagesh forte, it has to be pronounced. So it's ha-melachim. Make sure to pronounce it. And here are some rules, and they'll give you hints as to when to know if a Sheva is silent. A Sheva is silent if it follows a short vowel. So here I list a short vowel. Here is the word paro, the word for Pharaoh. Paro is the Sheva is under a resh, which is followed by the short vowel patach. So here you don't pronounce it. It closes the syllable. The second case is a Sheva is silent if it is at the end of a word. So if it's at the very end, it's closing that entire word's consonant. So here we have the word katavt. You can tell that the very last Sheva is silent because it's at the end of a word. And don't make that dagesh fool you. That dagesh there is a dagesh lene.